Hey, Sandora Lilith, welcome to another Diablo 4 video. This time I'm going to tell you about the Paladin Judgment Spirit of the Heavens Hammerden build. Okay, I was able to do the pit 131 without any mythic sanctification. Okay, any power on the sanctification was a mythic power. Even I didn't have any powers actually, so I think it's going to be fair for you to do a lot of damage if you have better items than me. The where I am right now on the rank 40 on the world on Helltides. Okay, you can check it out. I'm there, and I want to share this for you because you've been waiting a lot of time for this view, and now you got it before the year ends. As I promised, here is my view, share with all of you. For my followers and for my non-followers, will be great if you could help me with a follow, share, comment, like, whatever you want to make this channel to grow up. All right. So we start. First of all, first of all, I want to thank to all my followers that accompany me all of the year for this long 3 years. We're 666 on this channel right now. Thank you so much for all your support, especially to Vale and Ronald and my family and my friends. Thank you so much for all of you. And now I want to thank you. Now I want to start with this video. Okay, and have a happy new year. 2026. So here we go. First of all, you're going to need to get rid of all your potions. Okay, why is that? Well, it's because the imbiber glyph that gives you 5% increased damage for each missing healing potion. So if you have 11 potion like me, you should have 55% increased damage. So you have to get rid of them if you are on a pit potion, because your fortify is going to heal you. And after that, you're going to enter into Arbiter of Justice form, because it gives you a lot of damage from the aspects. This aspect, the aspect of Celestial Strife, you have to kill 50 monsters to have the maximum damage to vulnerable when you enter Arbiter form. And also the aspect of Ascension, okay? And casting a skill that grants Arbiter form increases your damage up to 120%. Okay, and the stacks are lost when leaving Arbiter form, so it's very, very important to have this cooldown reduction enough to cast the Arbiter of Justice in less than 40 seconds, because it's the duration of the skill. Okay, and that skill is going to apply Judgment. Okay, when you apply Judgment, you have you're going to need the Oath of Judicator. Okay, Judgment can now be detonated early by your core Judicator skills, dealing a lot of weapon damage in small area and gaining Judicator skill benefit. Each time you judge an enemy, increase the damage they take from you by 8% up to 80% until they die. Okay, it's going to do a lot of damage from the explosions of Judgment. That is holy damage and going to be triggered by the K-Passive Judgment Day. Okay, it's another important stuff. You're going to need the Judgment Day to increase your damage up to 90% more. And Judgment now spreads to nearby targets without Judgment when it detonates. Okay, so it's going to do a lot of damage when they expire. How are you spreading this? Well, Spirit of the Heavens is on the field, on the battleground. So there is gonna remain a Spirit of the Heavens that is going to have a permanent Judgment mark and remains on the battlefield for all enemies, dealing damage. And for 8 seconds, you're going to spam the Blessed Hammer. that also shatters into 3 small explosions on impact. Okay, this is very important because it's a core judicator skill, and this means you're going to detonate the judgment early. Okay, so you're going to do a lot of damage from this. Also, another important skill is the fanatism aura. Gives you more critical strike chance, attack speed, and more critical strike damage. Also, Defiance Aura is going to give you more damage and a lot of fogness because it's very, very important. You could use this or use Consecration. Okay, I'm just thinking about which one of these I want to use. But Defiance Aura is very, very important if you're going to go into higher level picks because the toughness. Condemn, it's also important because gives you vulnerable to all the enemies for 4 seconds and pulls all your enemies in for you, stunning them and dealing more damage. Okay, so this is very, very important. It's very important to have a max block chance more than 100%. Okay, critical strike chance and critical strike damage is very, very important. And attack speed is well, it's not so important, but it's very, very useful for the hammer detonations and the preacher legendary node. Okay, it's going to give you a lot of attack speed that is traduced to give you a lot of damage. More attack speed, more damage. Caster, the armor gives you damage, and also moving it gives you damage here with the paladin. Okay, and a lot of cooldown reduction with relentless legendary node. Okay, and to have the capacities, I'm going to explain you in a way. Okay, so that's it. Now we're going to start with the equipment. Okay, I clarify. I did the 131 pit without any sanctified any sanctified mythic power. Okay, so this build is the strongest of this season for now. Okay, so I want to explain you the equipment is very, very important to have the Heart of Perdition because the critical strike chance it gives you almost the half you need, 45% critical strike chance and 60% more damage. Okay, and the another rolls doesn't matter, just this the critical strike chance and the damage, and also to have a good sanctification will be great. Okay, if you have mythic sanctification will be the best. Okay, so the Heart of Perdition. The Shroud falls dead because the all passives, stat, maximum life, and that's it. I use the Rune Wars, a good tool because the tool gives you the vulnerable stats and freeze the enemies. So it's very, very good uh, to make the enemies vulnerable. And also I'm using these pens, okay, of the Indomitable aspect gives you a lot of armor and impairment resistance. You're almost unstoppable all the time. I use the rune word your quacks gives you 100% more damage for 1 second after you cast a lot of skills. You you use all your fate, your resource, and you do the amount of damage increase depending on that. Okay, after you proc the rune. Okay, another thing is the engar. Okay, you're going to need the maximum engar bonus on all pieces to have this greater affix. It's very, very simple on the blacksmith. So try to have the maximum 2 engar in all the pieces you can. All right, I have engar also in my amulet. That sucks, but I'm pretty sure you're going to have a better one. Okay, engar on the shield and damage reduction, cooldown reduction, armor, and whatever you want, strength or damage. This is the best I had on this. Okay. this year. Also, now I'm going to the boots wild ball because every second you pull these enemies into you and they take in 10% increase more damage for 3 seconds. Okay, I try to have access reduce evade cooldown and maximum life strength armor 5 per second. And I roll this critical strike chance, so I have the maximum critical strike chance. Okay, to show you critical strike chance almost 100% and attack speed bonus. Okay, another piece of gear is the gloves with damage what in arbiter form. Very very important to have more damage. In aspect of the Judicator, increase the damage and size of judgment explosions by 6%. Or I can take a strike chance, cooldown reduction on all the pieces you can. Okay, attack speed and strength is what I use on these gloves. Okay, and finally, the another legendary ring is this gives you attack speed, take a strike chance, cooldown reduction, and you could have strength like this globes will be great. Okay, try to have maximum speed and great graphics on cooldown reduction of the golden hour. Okay, judgment detonations can detonate other judgment early, and judgment deals 100% increased damage. That's a lot of damage. And lucky hit up to restore primary resource. Okay, when you do damage. Okay, now we go to the pieces with the unique pieces. This seal of the second trumpet. Okay, try to have GA on chance for judgment to deal double damage, and you could have shiny armor or cooldown reduction will be awesome. Judgment deals a lot of increased damage and has a 33% chance to explode twice. And I have this from sanctification, more damage to knock down or knock down as well. And finally, the Grease World's Apples is the best world of the game for critical strikes at this moment, I think. Gives you strength maximum life, break the line, and heavyweight is the most important. Try to have maximum on heavyweight. And dealing direct damage grant increase critical strike chance, sorry, critical strike damage for enemy, for each enemy hit up to 90%. And the maximum you do the double and 50% chance to deal another double damage. Okay. For the gems, I use the strength gems, rubies, and the more rubies here because the explosive affix on the monsters is terrible. You get hit by that, it's a wipe. So try to have the maximum of rubies. If you don't want to wipe like me, okay, or be more careful because I just YOLO into the battlefield. Judicator for the odds again. The skills, okay, the skill is the Judgment Day. I explained you that you do a lot of judgment damage. That is holy damage, is not physical damage. And okay, the skill bless hammer with this shooting blow. In guard, the maximum you can with this. Repose, blocking gives you damage. Okay, fanatism aura, more critical strike damage. Defiance aura, okay, for toughness. Renewal gives you more healing. Okay, best offense, more damage while fortified, and 42 critical strike damage while fortified. This is very very good. Another very very good is this heavyweight, more damage from critical strike damage while healthy. Break the line. Okay, increase the critical strike chance and increase damage to weaken enemies on this from fanatism aura. And because they start damage, iron sharpens iron. Okay, condemn. Cracking the armor more vulnerable damage to enemies. Cooldown reduction, like charity. Cartoonist, you deal damage, increase holy damage. Pacifying, well, this is not important. Daisium blow, you deal more damage to crowd control. All the damage you can do. Your armor is increased by 200% of your shield block chance. Master craft work. Okay, shiny armor, more holy damage. Okay, if you have a unique weapon, and more if you have a unique helm chest weapon that we don't use. And Giant Slayer, you deal more increased damage to elites, to healthy. And of course, Arbiter of Justice. If you need more cooldown reduction on this, you can change the points on defense into this. And that's it for the skills for the Paragon. Okay, I'm going to Spirit, more critical strike damage. The Fear Not Preacher. Your single skill grant attack speed, and your attack speed turns into damage. Okay, Judicator. Okay, then we're moving to Castle. More damage equals to your armor. Let's try to have the maximum armor and resistance. Low, judging enemy. More damage. Relentless, while moving, you deal 80% more damage and have more cooldown reduction. Resplendent is just for the more cooldown reduction. And finally, Shield Bearer. It gives you broad chance and gives you damage. And by I explained you, it's very, very important to have a lot of potions. Okay, to have a lot of potions on your pants. On your pants, your mercenaries. So I like the infravision, the seeker that watch all the enemies in the area and opening fire. More damage, critical strike damage to the enemies. And blood thirst from Varena, more attack speed. Okay, the oaths, sorry, the divine gifts is 45 from Belaya, maximum resistance, get more armor. And here a bearer that saves your life a lot. This is what I wanted for a lot of seasons on the pit because it's very, very good, very, very useful. And finally, the consumables, elixir of advantage for the seal of the seal of legendary node. Ancient times, more strength, more armor here, and soothing spices, more armor and resistance. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching the build. Have a very, very holidays, okay? And thank you so much to all my followers. I hope someday we reach the 1K of followers. Okay, go and destroy all these higher pits, and see you on the tower. Have a very good New Year 2026. Okay, and well, that's it. So, oh, and also my sword from Sertu. Okay, thank you so much, and ciao ciao.